Couldn't get my masters in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to say. You might get the best of him, but sure, never for me. Now, sweet talk to beast, dog tail jack, go and fetch your bang. Try that and upstate for it's a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college turned out me. Couldn't get my masters in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light that fuse and run. I said, whoa, I am my father's son. Light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my masters in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to sing. You might get the best of him, but you'll never fool me. Now, sweet talk to beast, dog tail jack to go and fetch your bang. Try that and upstate boy, it's a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my masters in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light that fuse and run. I say, whoa, I am my father's son. Light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Whoa.
What's up, 24/7 guys? What's up?
College, but college done up me. Couldn't get my masters in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to say. You might get the best of him.
What's up, Bills Mafia? The screens are all jacked up already this morning. Welcome to Sunday Sessions, your pregame show, the hashtag Bills Mafia pregame show for today. Guys, we got a lot of news coming in, active rosters, inactives, but that's what we talk about here on Sunday Sessions. Our final thoughts here at 24/7 Buff Fandemonium. Obviously, part of the Buff Fan Base Network and sponsored by 26 Shirts over there in the corner. Sunday Sessions, our panel here, we're a bit short. Swank's under the weather, so I'm taking over. Welcome. You guys know what to do in the comments. Hit us up. Give us your final thoughts and give us your score predictions, all that good stuff. Also, RT is here, as always, on Sunday Sessions.
You know it.
What's up, RT? Say hi to the peeps.
What's going on, Bills Mafia? We got a big game here, Bills, Bucks. We're going to get into the game day roster and a whole lot more. So stay tuned. It's always a pleasure being on this show every Sunday or Monday or Thursday.
And if my eyes don't deceive me, we've got come on in, my friend, Justice.
Hey,
are you just on scrolling, or did you want to come on here? I saw your face pop up, and
I was just checking on my guys.
What's up, guys?
Doing good, dude. How are you?
I'm good, man. I just wanted to look. I mean, I do this every week. I don't usually come in stream, but I always check out you guys every Sunday morning. So I just wanted to kind of come in and check it out, see what you guys are talking about this week.
just say hello. Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, before I go, if you guys don't mind, if I got to ask you guys a question.
Yep.
Sure.
I talked about it on stream last night with Mookie. But we got a little bit more information as of 10 minutes ago. Adam Schefter said that if I'm ruining the rundown of y'all show, please stop me.
We were actually going to start right off with this.
We're going to start from the top. We said it before we hit live.
So Keon Coleman allegedly, or not allegedly, I mean, it's purported that he missed a meeting on Friday, which is why he is benched. Mm-hmm. And in my head, that's more concerning than underperforming. And so I just kind of wanted to hear what y'all perspective on it was going to be.
I'll have you go at that first, man.
Okay, thanks, buddy. All right, so you know what? I mentioned to Scott, we talked about just a little bit before we went live, as I mentioned, and the one thing when I think of Keon to start, going back to when they drafted him, that wasn't really the guy that I wanted them to take. I was a big BT Jr. Lad McConkey guy. Those were the two guys that I really liked, but they went that route. They went the route of trading down and taking Keon, and then they introduced him to the fans and to the media, and he seemed like a funny, quick-witted guy and a guy with a great personality. So I thought, you know what, give this guy a chance and see how this works out. And 1 year later, after kind of a down, debut rookie season and definitely a down sophomore year outside of week 1 this season, it's just disappointing. That's the biggest thing I could say. It's extremely disappointing that a player that they invested a high draft pick in, second round draft pick, that is, would be here 1 year later on the outside looking in to Mecole Hardman, who they signed, a week and a half ago or whatever it was. And on the outside looking into Gabe Davis, who they let go to Jacksonville, largely because they didn't want to pay him the money that Jacksonville did, but also because they believed that they were getting a better replacement in Keon himself, post draft. So it's very disappointing. I question where they go from here. This isn't the first time this has happened. This is like the second or third time this has happened, according to reports. So where do they go from here? What is his future in Buffalo beyond this season? I think that's a real question to be asked. He's on a rookie contract. He'd be easy to drop. I don't think they could get much for him because the word is out that they've had to discipline him as a player, which kind of knocks the value down of a player when that does happen. So yeah, it's extremely concerning. I hope that they're able to rectify the situation and hope that the fences can get mended here, but it's not turning in the direction that any of us wanted to see prior to the season starting.
It's a double whammy too. I mean, as Justice mentioned, I mean, you would thought he would have been benched because of his performance, but it's not a performance; it's a character thing now. And right. I mean, I'll be honest, I was doofed right off the bat. He came in all happy-go-lucky, looked like a guy that was invested, and now we have this. So I think the combination of the two is, I mean, trade deadline's too it's far and gone. What do you do? What do you do? Do you keep him on your rookie roster as a wide receiver number 5 because he's really cheap? Or do you try to get a 3rd, 4th, 5th round draft pick, which it's going to be hard to get even that? Real quick around the panel, what would you give? What would you take for Keon Coleman? Anything?
Man, you want me to take that
Can
one?
I answer real quick?
Yeah, you can answer that, Justice. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to deviate just a little bit, but it all correlates because to me, the common denominator is Joe Brady, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think I've watched Brandon Beane put together rosters that were 3 points away from the Super Bowl multiple times, right? I don't think Brandon Beane went into this season thinking this receiver room is not good enough. I think that even most of us probably went into the room thinking, or went into the season thinking, all right, we saw what Josh did last year. Now, theoretically, we have better receivers than we had last year, right? Keon's on the 2nd year. Jordan Palmer's supposed to be better than Amari Cooper, and Elijah Moore's supposed to be better than Matt Collins, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't necessarily think that is untrue, but I think that the regression of Joe Brady has made everything look bad. Remember last year, the Rams game when Joe Brady can't get 1 to 2 yards to save his life. Okay. If it's not for his 6'5", 250-pound quarterback falling forward, he will not pick up that first down. Right. We've seen in the Rams game last year where McDermott had to burn a timeout because he called a quarterback sneak on the 2-yard line and didn't get it. And so that ended up making us lose the game. Remember in the Houston game, he ran 3 straight pass plays from the 1-yard line.
Yep.
Punt goes, 50 yards and we lose that game. The Chiefs game, we did quarterback sneaks like 4 times and didn't get it. Like everything leads back to Joe Brady to me. It's just like you have
that's fair for sure.
You have the he's fast, he's strong, he's got a rocket arm, he's brilliant. You literally have the biggest, like the most expensive toy on the planet. Like this was like, and you can't figure out what to do with him. And I don't understand for the life of me why the team that we have to beat every year is a team with a 20+ year head coach who is an offensive guru and already a Hall of Famer. With a defensive coordinator who has been coaching for 20+ years as a defensive guru and is already a Hall of Famer. Yet we continue to have coordinators with less than 5 years experience who have to figure it out. Why are we figuring things out with a Super Bowl caliber roster and an all-time quarterback? And also someone kind of told me that the idea would be Sean McDermott thinking, I want to groom my coaches so that, they are what I want them to be. That's fair. But now if you have a 32-year-old head coach, 32-year-old offensive coordinator who is running wild with Josh Allen, he won't be your offensive coordinator for more than 3 years. For more than 2 years, really. He's going to get vetted immediately to become a head coach somewhere because it's Josh Allen, and that's what comes with having a great football team. People are going to steal from your coaching staff. So to me, all roads lead back to Joe Brady. And honestly, before that, it was Ken Dorsey. And it's just like, why do we keep employing these inexperienced offensive coordinators that don't know how to scheme? And we saw what Ken Dorsey did when he went to Cleveland. Clearly, he's not fit to be a play caller, right? Or at least not at this point in his life. So it's just frustrating to me that we have. Honestly, if we had a competent offensive coordinator, maybe the greatest quarterback of all time, and we can't figure out what to do because they keep employing inexperience.
Well, they fall into the trap as they want to, I don't know this, but coaches all have their own philosophy, regardless of whether or not they agree with say if I'm an offensive a passing coach or a quarterback coach, I still have my own philosophy. So this concept of bringing these guys up through the system, maybe he'll copy what Dable did. Oh, he's a chip off the block from Dorsey. That's not necessarily the case. And you can't determine in-game situations based off of strategy of what your coordinators are doing. So you're going to panic. You're going to try to pick a play that's huge. You're going to try to pick a play that's safe. That's all instinct. That has nothing to do with following the guy that preceded you. So you're right. To have these 20+ year coaches that have the experience, that would be great. And I know I've pounded the table of like bring the guys up through the system because they are familiar with Josh, but it does seem like that they don't know how to perform under pressure. And it seems like that they kind of try to implement their own scheme and their own philosophy, which you can't blame them because they made it that far to begin with doing just that. So good point. I do want to hit this up since we're talking about the roster. It did come in. I like to add this in there, guys. Buffalo Bills PR, they throw on X, not only the current roster going in, but they also throw the inactives in. So we only have one thing to click on. I'm going to go over the inactives and then we'll take RT's take on it quick. Obviously we know Keon Coleman, not just player performance, but not showing up to the meetings. Elijah Moore, Shaq Thompson, Jeff Marcus, Ingram, Fedarian Mathis, Chase Lunt, who's a common name on there, and Dalton Kincaid. What's your guys' take on those inactives? Everything that we expected?
Well, kind of leading into it, I think it was cover one. They were the first ones that kind of said that this could be coming with Keon. We talked about that, but I'd like to look at the bright side. The opposite side of it is who's in, not who's out. And I'm really excited for Mecole Hardman. I don't know, how they plan on using him. I would venture to guess that, be in the return game a little bit here. Maybe he's in the slot a little bit, and the return of Gabe Davis. So with Keon out, with Elijah Moore out. We got Davis and Hardman in, along with Josh Palmer back, which Josh Allen talked about how crucial he is to their stretching of the field type game, and we saw that a little bit in the Atlanta game before he got hurt. So I'd like to see a little bit of that today. Test this Tampa Bay secondary with guys that are burners and Hardman, deep route guy, and Josh Palmer, and we know Gabe Davis likes to go deep as well. So maybe we see a little bit more of a vertical, passing game in this one, in terms of leading us to victory. That'd be great.
All right, and obviously we'll stick the offense here since we're talking about it. Justice, Curtis Samuel, Shakir, Hardman. It looks like they got a lot of shifty guys out there. But Palmer, Davis, and Shavers, who do you think is going to be the one that's going to take over that Keon Coleman role, or are they going to bounce all over the place?
What is the Keon Coleman role?
Yeah. One catch, 5 yards.
Who
out of that group's going to get two catches, 20 yards?
That actually raises a great point. I don't know if any Bills receiver outside of Khalil Shakir or Dalton Kincaid, who is injured, has a role. I don't know who's the X. I don't know. They're all slots. Yep. So I think Elijah Moore being out is a little telling for Tyrell Shavers because he's a better blocker. That tells me that they're probably going to stay with the heavy screen game, at least to a degree. It'll be interesting to see because Gabe Davis is a wild card. Mecole Hardman is a wild card. They talk about combination of receivers and whatnot, but I don't know. I haven't seen anything from Joe Brady in the year of 2025 to make me say he's going to figure it out. Right. With whatever group of wide receivers is out there, unless you bring back Stephon Diggs and or another number one receiver. That was my philosophy going into the trade deadline was give him so much that he can't lose. You know what I mean? If you're going to stick with Joe Brady, then you know what I mean? What's the term I'm looking for? You stack the deck for yourself, right?
Give him some weapons, yeah.
Give him a plethora of weapons to use, which honestly, if you give away a first-round pick for Jalen Waddle, is accomplished. So I'm blaming Brandon Beane because he is the father. He's the president, right? It's on him. It's his responsibility. He employs Sean McDermott, who employs Joe Brady, who is the responsible for all this, in my opinion. So I'm putting blame on Sean. The last 2 years, I think Sean McDermott has coached his tail off. Previous to those 2 years, I wanted him gone. But I give credit where it's due. I think that his offensive coordinator is kind of holding him back a little bit. And I think he knows that. But he has this thing where I'm assuming he wants to be able to have control of the offense and what goes on. Where he wants to have a little bit better control of the offense as far as the running and defense, like most defensive coordinators want to do. But I just haven't seen anything from Brady to make me say, all right, Mecole Hardman, who was not previously on the roster, Gabe Davis, who got a big contract and then did virtually nothing, are going to come in and be difference makers for us. When I think Keon Coleman is actually very talented and could be a good receiver in his league someday. I just don't think he has the offensive coordinator to facilitate that.
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet. My hope is that we do today. It's got to start at some point in order for this team to give the Patriots a run for their money and get this AFC division for the 6th straight year. Today's the day that this has got to start. We got to see a more balanced vertical passing attack, not just underneath. And Scooter, I mentioned to you, kind of off the air before we started, a very telling statistic league-wide that pertains to this receiver position and this offense is that Buffalo's wide receiver position is 32nd in yards ran per route and yards accumulated per route. 32nd, which is dead last, obviously, in the NFL. So I just saw that. Credit to NFL Sunday Countdown as they were talking about the reinforcements of Gabe Davis and Mecole Hardman. I know how these guys have been used previously. Gabe, here and Mecole Hardman in KC, they were used to kind of stretch the field a little bit. And that's what I want to see. I want to see Josh Allen let it fly far more than we've seen through the first, 10 weeks of the season.
And he might have to today. I mean, this is no joke of a 6-3 Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense that's coming in that can put points on the board. Unfortunately, due to bye weeks, I have to start Mayfield and I have to start Rachaad White. So I'm hoping for good numbers, but not numbers that are going to take over, right? But yeah, I mean, to say who's going to replace Keon Coleman stat line wise and productivity wise, there's not much anybody has to do to take over. I can tell you that Joshua Palmer was beginning to get a little bit of a trust with from Josh Allen. Gabe Davis, we'll see, is a guy that's bigger guy and can't blow you off the line of scrimmage as far as speed. He does seem to get open. And of course, this was a couple years ago, and Josh Allen, buried at the 1 yard line, had enough trust to throw the ball deep to Gabe Davis and against the Steelers for that long touchdown. So there is trust with him. So who knows if that's what it is. I'll go back to the K-Gun report I said last week. I love Josh. He's grown every year, but there are situations where you watch the All-22 and he's not trusting players. He's not trusting them. There are players that are open that he's just not trusting. So hopefully that will remedy that. Before we talk about the defense quick, Sean Kinsley says, good luck, guys.
Good luck, gents. Good luck, Sean.
Uncle Jamie says, what's up, Mafia? Sorry getting these comments. I put them up earlier, but I just want to say hi to everyone. Lisa Johns, good morning, boys.
Good morning.
Lonnie Cook, hello.
Hello.
John Johns, good morning. Good football morning. You ain't getting. Robbie Snyder says, hey, y'all, Justice. Jim Graham has a little bit of medication preference. 2 bottles of MDD pineapple. Haven't had that one yet. We'll have to see. But he agrees with Justice and the rest of us. Joe Brady isn't the coach that uses players to their strengths. He's an incompetent ass coach. A lot of people saying that. Stop putting all the blame on him. Tell Josh and Joe Brady to blame as well. Yep. True. Well,
you got to show up to the meetings, Jim. As a player, you got to show up to the meetings, man.
Yep.
I mean, the whole Joe Brady point is valid. I talked about that on my show too. Don't get me wrong. I've tweeted it, I've posted. If Joe Brady wants to interview at Penn State, he can go to Penn State. Like that's my take on that. But you got to show up to the meetings. Like that
wouldn't bench a player that didn't show up to a meeting. Say
that again.
I don't know any coach that would not bench a player for not showing up to mandatory meetings.
Exactly. Yeah, that's like the least you can do as a professional.
Borosco thinks a 7th round pick would be a good pick. Corey Blaine says, what's up, Bills Mafia? BWO in the house. Lou RQ from over there in Colorado. Morning, everyone. It is morning there. They're 3 hours behind us, correct? Joe Brady needs to make better plays. We've said that all along. We agree with you, Uncle Jamie. If Hardman gets us field position, it will help out a lot. We also did notice that Codrington was cut. So it looks like Hardman will potentially be our returner. I know we like to keep this a tight half an hour. We'll go over a little bit of that.
Yeah, we can go over.
We got our stuff to get to, just like the rest of you guys do. We talked about the offense. I am excited because other than Ed Oliver being injured, it looks like our starting defense is back.
Yep.
Oa Epinesa and Russo on the roster. Defensive tackles, Daquan, Deion Walker, Ogunjobi, and TJ Sanders is back off of IR, so
that's
huge
to
see how he provides. Yep. Our linebackers are intact. We finally have all our corners. Taron Johnson, Maxwell Hairston finally gets to see what we can do opposite side of Benford, and then our safeties are all there. I'm excited about our defense. May take a couple games for them to be a cohesive unit, but they're all out there. Give us your take there, quick, RT, on hoping to see from other than one player missing and Ed Oliver. What's this defense looking like?
Yeah, I'm really excited for the defense myself. I'm looking at the defensive tackle position. You mentioned obviously without Ed Oliver, that's a big loss. But TJ Sanders being active in this one. TJ Sanders was a guy that I we talked about it, I think, after after the draft, the after draft recap show. I was really happy when they went up and got him. Feel like he was really starting to turn a corner and show some signs. A little bit earlier in the season, there was a little bit left to be desired, but right before he got hurt, he was starting to show some signs of life. And to have TJ Sanders next to the rookie stud, Deion Walker, as I got distracted by that comment there that popped up. Deion Walker has been really, really great. So big thing with this matchup is stopping the run, whether it's Bucky Irving, whether it's Rashad White. Tampa Bay's offensive line has shown some inconsistencies. So let's get after Baker Mayfield. Let's shut down the run game. And I'd like to see the big guys get to the quarterback today on the D-line.
Yeah, I agree. Lisa, our weather lady, is giving us a very windy report. She says, let Josh do the play calls. Who knows what he can do. He knows what he can do. I believe that too. Defense gets 2.5 sacks. Harrison a pick 6. I like it, Corey. Yeah, I mean, we got a big goose egg last week against Tua, a quarterback who gets sacked 2 to 3 times a game. We got 0.
Right.
And it's not like he did anything special. They played a very basic game, and we obviously came out with an L with that one. So Baker Mayfield is a guy that can stretch the field, stretch the play. So you're going to have to mind your P's and Q's, contain, create some pressure. I do think that with a healthy defense, as I mentioned before, there's no reason, RT, why we can't get 2, 3, 4 sacks and have a day. But again, we're going to have to respect that run. That run can be effective, and we know our Bills have struggled there for sure. Definitely. All right. So before we get to our score predictions and final thoughts, brother, let's pull this up real quick. We got our friend from the BWO. Corey Blaine has a little video to show us here.
Mafia. It's your boy, Corey Blaine. So something's going on with the Bills, and I'm hoping that we get it back. I'm thinking today we're going to let Josh be Josh. We're going to let James cook and maybe see something out of these receivers. Maybe Gabe Davis can do something for us, I hope, because we need some passing yards. We need some touchdowns. I think it's going to be a dogfight between Mayfield and Allen. But like always, Bills are going to come up on top. So I think Bills are going to win 30-27. And for any of them Space Jam fans out there like myself growing up, we're going to need Josh's secret stuff. But I don't think that's going to be enough. I think we got to go old school. Like I said, 30-27. Power of the O's, baby. Go Bills.
That might have been his best work. I will say I like the Space Jam reference, and I liked the hoodie. That was pretty funny. Did you people what hoodie said? Yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. I liked it. That was a good one.
Thanks, Corey, from the BWO. They go live on Wednesdays at 8:00. But no, power of the O's, 30 points. I'm okay with that. Man, I tell you, my score prediction, I'm going to keep it the same. I do like a 31-17. I believe that's what I picked on the K-Gun report. It's windy, so who knows how the ball is going to be affected. I know Josh Allen can throw piss missiles. So with that being said, he can cut through the wind. Hopefully nothing takes off on him or flies off our wide receiver's hands. But big dubs for the Bills. We play this Thursday, so we can – in 2 wins, we can make quite a bit of a difference in this divisional race. Sure. Not only the AFC East division, but as far as the AFC conference, we can make a lot of damage by winning these next 2 games. So yeah, RT, give us your score prediction and your final thought, brother.
Yeah. Score prediction, final thoughts as well. Score prediction. I had Corey's score prediction written down here, 30-27, but just to change it up here, I am going to go 30-24. I'm going to say that the defense does a little bit more. Once I saw that game day roster, I think even though it's the first week really that the defense has been, I guess, as healthy as it could possibly be, minus Ed Oliver and a few others, this is a week that I think that they will, play as a team a little bit better, a little bit more, as they say, complementary football, which is a phrase that Sean McDermott loves to say. And this is a game that it's a home game, sold out crowd. This defense gets some stops early. They could maybe, run away with it here a little bit. I'd like to see them play with a little bit of an edge here a little early in this game, especially if we start out, on the defensive side of the ball, early in this first quarter, of course, from the coin toss, get that big stop, get the third down horn blasting in that stadium. And I think it could really be a fun day for this defense. And final thoughts, of course, I know this season has had its moments. Last 5 games were 2-3. I definitely thought that we let a few of these games get away from us here. The Patriots, Atlanta, the Dolphins, just saying those 3 teams as knowing that those are the 3 losses that we've had is pretty shocking. I think this is a seminal moment, though, in the history of the McBean-Allen era where they know they got to get this right. Their backs are a little bit against the wall here with an uphill battle, as you mentioned a little bit here, in the AFC East. But all it takes is 2 quality wins and getting one over New England at Gillette, which is always tough, but I think is very possible. The Patriots are a good team. They're a much better team than what they have been in previous years, but they've also won a lot of really close games. They've also been losing in a lot of the games that they found a way to win, which is not a knock. It's a compliment, but we will have more intel about ourselves and more intel about them as this season wears on. And I think we could easily split that and get right back, atop this division and run with it. So it's going to be a fun game. Baker Mayfield always brings the heat. Josh Allen does as well. We know that. Really excited to see this one.
I agree. I agree with all that, RT. I do have one more question for you. I didn't realize we still had a couple minutes. The tight end situation here in Buffalo, they activated Kalecki Latu. I just saw that his size is 6'7", 250-something pounds. I mean, he's a tall son of a gun. Jackson Haas, known as our blocking tight end, and Dawson Knox, more of a blocking than a receiving tight end. Would you put money on in FanDuel or DraftKings, Kalecki Latu, at being as tall as he is to be a red zone target, maybe give him an anytime touchdown?
You know what? Why not? Fire it up. Have a little fun. That's that's my motto. I was going to say his name when when you first put up that graphic, because I did see it. He was a fun little story on Hard Knocks, and he's a guy that they valued. Listen, I can't overstate it enough, but when we go through August and the training camp and preseason, and these guys make the practice squad, they're valued on this Buffalo Bills team a lot more than people realize. And they always usually do get an opportunity to show something. So I would consider that. I would consider that for sure. And if it's something that could kind of put your bet over the top, then why not?
Yeah, he'd be a pretty plus anytime touchdown kind of character to add to your list there. You heard it first. RT says put him on your FanDuel, make him some money. 20% of the money should go right to RT. He'll put his Venmo link there at the bottom of the screen. My final thoughts. Yeah, exactly. We have a chance here to go up 2 games quick. We do play the Patriots again this year, so destiny is in our own hands. We control our destiny here, I believe. Patriots do fall on that list of easiest schedules remaining, so it's going to be very difficult. So we have to take advantage of these games because we still have a bunch of tough games to play, but we got to win this one game at a time. Hit us up an hour and a half before every game this Thursday. The game's like at 8:25, something like that. So look for us about 7:30 to go live, and other Sunday sessions. We'll be on here getting ready, having a couple of drinks and giving our final thoughts. And as always, hit up our K-Gun Report, 8:30 every Tuesday. We review the last game, which will be this game, and we preview the next game, which will only be in Thursday. So looking forward to it. You guys kick ass in the comments as always. Enjoy today. It's snowing here. It's windy as it is in Buffalo. So hopefully it's a fun game to watch. We're wearing all white, so that should be interesting. Remember that Colt game? But until then, guys, we'll see you on Tuesday. Cheer loud, drink responsibly. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
You might get the best of him, but sure, never for me. Now, sweet talk to beast, dog tail jack to go and fetch your bang. Try Tried acting upstate boy to a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college turned out me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light that fuse and run. I said, whoa, I am my father's son.